right now. We have a 8,000 square foot facility right outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota, that we opened in 2018, really to solve the accessibility problem for both schools and companies. So as many of you know, as part of this call today, it's still challenging to execute VR at scale. And so we tried to solve that problem for both schools and corporations by having a lot of hardware and a lot of software and basically providing it as a turnkey service. We actually have about 50 students in here right now. So if there's a lot of background noise momentarily, that's what you're hearing. REM5 for Good, that's our initiative of working with underserved youth, making sure they have equitable access to these tools and education in the space, and then also spending a lot of time working with our corporate partners, not only creating, but actually executing in the field using immersive tech for diversity, equity, and inclusion training, which I'll talk about an example of that in a moment here. And then lastly, REM5 Studios, which is our full service production agency where we create client projects for both augmented reality, virtual reality, Web3, and the metaverse, all of the buzzwords wrapped into one. So we kind of have this unique model of where we're vertically integrated all the way, to touching the customer as a service back to production. And since we opened in 2018, we've had about 60,000 people through our space, and probably 15,000 of those were students. In terms of what we're doing at REM5 Studios and where we've spent most of our time over the last, call it 2.5 years, is we've built our own metaverse platform called Simulacra, basically focused on accessibility. That's kind of the through line of everything we do, is how do we make this stuff accessible at scale? And so with Simulacra, it's a web-based platform, PC or Mac-based first, and very, very user-centric. We've found out the hard way working with 60,000 people over the last 5 or so years that we have to make this stuff very frictionless, very easy to use, so that ultimately our users can focus on the content versus the tech itself. So our end user here, while we want to provide a tool that works well with youth, we're really building a solution that works for non-gamer, non-Web3, and we want to be able to make this stuff accessible for 40, 50, 60, and even 70-year-olds. One of the case studies I want to cover today is a space that we built a couple years ago called One City, Two Realities. It's the world's first social justice museum in our platform Simulacra. So through images, video, data visualization, 360 photos, we've created this social environment to deliver this content. And what we found is that when we're working with our enterprise clients, many of whom are large Fortune 500 companies, we're really actually competing with PowerPoints and Zoom calls. And this tool, since we, again, back to that, taking the friction out, we found that once we made it really easy to use, we were able to get large companies to deploy this at scale. Here's an example of where we deployed it with a Fortune 500 company here. A few months ago, they had 600 employees run through it, and engagement went through the roof, 65% higher than their second highest engaging learning and development experience they did, and almost 2.5 times higher than their average learning and development experience for the year. 4 minutes and 42 seconds in, so I'm gonna beat my 5-minute punchline here. But for us, at a really high level, we've deployed similar experiences with several nonprofit partners and customers, enterprise learning and development, and also universities. So if you're looking for a frictionless platform that can scale easily and you're a content creator, we would love to connect with you all. That's it from me.